patent ROI.
Make us willing, David. Make us willing.
Well, I know Dave feel very afraid, and I know he'll accept it. I see him. Let him know. So I started this crazy journey a couple years ago. Well, 15 years ago, actually, when I went into law school. I went into patent law. But to start, I'm David Lafkas. The jokes are not getting any better. You all remember my name now, too. Okay, so patent ROI is going to enable innovation speed and decrease risk by everyone, everywhere, finding competitive advantage through patents. A year ago at this conference, I was working the camera right over there, and Doug said, hey, we're going to make it so everybody can write a patent in about an hour. And he turned and looked at me, and I went, and I swore. So I'm not going to do that today. I've already had 2 censored photos. And I really thought, I don't know how we're going to do this, but Doug said we're going to, so we are. And I am very happy to announce that we have done it. And so I'm going to take you through that today. But first, we need to see what the problem is here. Intellectual property now accounts for 70% of most companies' value. Now, I showed this to some people the other day, and they doubted me on these numbers. And so I have the report from PwC. Apparently they do other studies other than just beauty patents. And they found out and presented this to the World Intellectual Property Organization, which is a division of the UN, that this is the amount that most companies' valuation now. So what does that mean? Patents matter. There are also multiple stories showing a direct correlation between patent filings and sales and company valuation. Now they can hear me at home. So there's direct correlation here. So again, what is this saying? Patents are the competitive advantage you want to go after. Innovation engineering defines innovation as meaningfully unique. We've all seen this slide many times. Meaningful because it's useful to solve a problem, and that's the same as the non-obviousness standard at the patent office, and it's unique and new to the world. And so what we're saying is that innovation engineering is patents. And so profits come from being meaningfully unique. So I've beaten you over the head now. Hopefully you guys get it. Got to be meaningfully unique if you want to make money anymore. So there's been an explosion in growth in patents in the United States. These are the numbers from 1950 to 2012. We've seen these slides before, and it correlates to the number of internet users and the growth of the internet. 2 out of 3 patents now go to companies and people outside of the United States. What does that mean? It means the rest of the world has figured it out, and we're behind the 8 ball on this one, on figuring out how to get ahead competitively. So Doug, as he said, the board looked at all of our subsystems and figured which one do we want to kind of push aside. And so we did a survey asking the state of mind of innovation and culture in companies. And there were 3 questions on each of the subsystems. And so you could get a total score of 30 points, 10 points each. And this is the 80th percentile score for each of the alignment, Merwin research, collaboration, and patent ROI. And you can see, sadly, patents is way down there at the lowest. And in fact, at the 40th percentile, it was a score of 4. So you're pretty much saying to most of these companies, they do not know what to do with patents. So basically, why is this? Most managers are functionally illiterate when it comes to patents. So we thought, this is a theory of ours. Maybe we're wrong, and it's just for whatever reason people are scared of them. So we actually did a small sample of a test where we sent out 20 true-false questions. True-false, so 50% score by guessing. And in ours, the score was average of 60%. And just so you guys see what we were asking, here's some of the questions that we asked. Filed provisional application can be seen or searched by your competition. There's patent trolls that are stealing your things. If you file innovation in another country and file another patent, you own it. Ideas are patentable. And guess what? This is going to be interactive. Jesse. If you file a patent application, provisional patent application, can it be seen by your competition?
False.
You are correct. And sadly, on the actual test, only 50% of the people got it right. So pretty much they guessed and got it right.
Can we see it after a year?
No.
Or after any amount of
No. Yeah, it's a great question, but no, it is held in secret at the patent office. And for those of you that did not get this correct, don't worry, I have talked to the head counsel of major corporations who did not even know this and argued with me on why they don't file provisionals, and they finally said, well, we don't want our competition to find out what we're doing. It's just like, you can't find them. Even in the patent office, unless you are assigned to an associated file, you cannot look into those files. Use that to your advantage. It's a primary reason to file provisional applications. So, I got another question. If you find an innovation in another country, so you go over to Ireland, and you find an invention there, can you bring it back to the US, file a patent on it, and own it?
Yes.
Anybody? Amy?
No.
Amy is correct. Sadly, only 31% of the people who took the test knew this. You can't do that because it's already been done elsewhere. You can bring it back to the US and copy it, but you can't protect it and own it yourself. So now this is where people are going to stop making eye contact with me. So our idea is patentable. Sheldon.
Our idea is patentable. Yes.
You are correct. Ideas are not patentable. Only 18% of the people got this right.
So, 2 for 2.
Remember, when you're filing for protection, it's got to be something real. Patents only protect features. And unfortunately, a lot of you guys have had me grading your provisional patent, and yet you guys still talk to me, which is nice. But that's been the number one thing that we've really worked through in developing ideas to patents now, is focusing on nothing but features. I can tell you the patent office does not care if your invention is faster, cheaper, whatever. Is it different, and how is it different? That's all they care about. And so just to keep in mind, that's the photo I think we always use in Innovation College. You can't patent a flying car as a concept, but if all of a sudden you know how to build one of those engines, you could protect that engine itself. So we do have 2 more of these. So again, everybody's going to be like, huh? Okay, let's go with Barry, because Barry pays attention. Provisional patent application lasts only for 12 months and cannot be extended. It was true, Barry. But in all fairness, could have guessed, gotten the same score as people who took the test. But it is a little bit confusing because we do talk about stacking provisional patent applications. Your original provisional is the length of time you need to look at. So if the floor is day 1 and up here is 12 months later, you can put lots of provisionals in there, but you've got to file from 12 months from that original date. Okay, last one. A provisional patent application is filed in the US, and it can reserve your rights for most of the entire Earth for the term of the application. So that provisional is going to protect you essentially the entire world for 12 months. Abel, true or false?
False.
It is true. If you file here in the United States, that reserves your rights to go elsewhere in the world. Use those 12 months to figure out where your market is and figure out where you want to go.
David, I think a random number table would be just as good as the opinions.
Well, nobody got this one right on the actual test.
0%.
Oh, you're leading up to what I'm going to be talking about with recertification.
Specifically, Sheldon, I'm a little concerned.
No, Sheldon knows these. Lisa, question?
So repeat my question again.
I'll repeat it to the iPhone. That's a great question. So the question is, how does the provisional protect you for 12 months around the world? Because of treaties that we have through the UN, it's called PCT. If you file in the United States, you can use that date as your date of filing anywhere in the world.
But, repeat this as well. What if somebody already has it somewhere else in the world?
Then it wouldn't be patentable here either.
Okay, so in that, okay, so that whole secret.
Yeah, it's like planting your flag there, but somebody might have beaten you, but you just don't know until you really work through it.
Okay, but you got 12 months to do it.
Correct.
Got
See,
it.
have you heard the concept new to the world ideas? A patent has to be a new to the world idea. Real stuff. Guys, these things are funny, but they're really sad. 70% of the value of companies is intellectual property, and this is what we've got to do as a movement, gang. They don't know squat about this. And so those people, to be honest, those people who are saying no to patents, that it's not that important, they just don't even know. How could they know? There's no way. There's no way for them to understand it if they were never taught. I had a group, I'm sorry, David, I got a small rant. I'll get off my rant soon. But no, I got a mic already. No, they gave me a second mic.
Saves time.
I think Ronald Reagan said that once in New Hampshire. Big ones. Here's the deal that happens as these folks get into this stuff, okay? They don't have any idea about what's going on. They just don't know. And you get yourself set up into a situation where you're making decisions without even knowing. 22 engineering school deans. I'm presenting. I asked a simple question. We're going to now talk about patents. Obviously, you folks are engineering deans and you're into engineering. How many of you teach students what's patentable and what's not? Just raise your hand. The same number of hands went up or is in the room right now. Now you know what happened next. A rant like you read about. I mean, it was sad that our school system and our boards of accreditation for engineering and our boards of accreditation for accounting and for business are so incompetent that they're not in touch with the real world. This is wrong. This is wrong. The only course where you learn this is in innovation engineering, and that's embarrassing. But the new world is an intellectual capital world. Everybody would agree with that. But nobody's taken the actions to go do that. Okay, I'll stop ranting.
You'll be back. So, businesses, they're losing their competitive advantage because they are moving slowly, and the rules have changed at the Patent Office. We have talked about this for years, leading up to it changing, and now after. The U.S. is now a first-to-file country. It is a race to the Patent Office, and yet every single company that I've spoken to is like this turtle. They're still going the old way they used to walk to the finish line. And they are now telling me, oh, we're now getting beat by competition to the Patent Office, and oh, our lab books don't do us any good anymore to beat them at the Patent Office to prove earlier invention. And they're sunk. They are being blocked from taking their products and services to market now. And they have not figured out how to go faster. And my attorney friends and I have not done much good to make actually reading these things very easy either. So what we're doing with innovation engineering and with ideas to patent is reduce this fear and the risk. And we're going to do this through education and actually doing. So I present to you Patent ROI, which is now made up of 4 different buttons here. We're going to have patent mining, patent alerts, ideas to patents, and patent assets. And of course, all of this has a foundation in education. And I'm going to take you through each of these 4 tools, and then we're going to talk about how we can actually get this going in your organization, with your clients, you name it. So we've got the 4 tools that are going to enable everyone to rapidly understand and file for patent protection. starting with patent mining. And some of this you're going to remember, we've been doing this for a long time with the patent blueprints. We've changed the name to patent mining because it's doing so much more than just searching for patents. So our searching now, or just general searching up front, you can do your typical keyword searching as we've been doing, as if you're on Google. You can now do some cross-reference searching as well. So if you've got a particular patent number or inventors, you can put those in and focus in on just that patent or inventor and find out all the other patents that inventor has or what patents have cited or been cited by that particular patent. So it's a great way to find all the technology really fast. You can even limit the searching to particular classes, or even say, you know what, I don't want this patent class in there because I know there's nothing in there as it is, or it's just kind of screwing up your search results. You can actually eliminate it now. Question, Beth?
How is this better than Google patents?
Beth just asked, for everybody to know, how is this better than Google patents? This is actually going to provide you the search results in buckets. So one, you're going to get the classes first. So you're going to get the neighborhoods of patents that you want rather than looking at the entire world, which is what Google Patents is going to do. The results, which I will show you, are going to be much easier to use than Google Patents. And then our search algorithm is second to none when it comes to breaking them out the way that they do.
And don't forget about active expired.
Exactly. So kind of, this would be the entire world of patents that you're looking at, but hey, I just want to look in this neighborhood right here, because those are the only patents I want to look at. Oh, geez, I didn't know what was going on in that window. See, I told you the jokes don't get any better. Okay, so this is the this is the only patent mining that stimulates growth for your competitive advantage. And so what we do, as we were doing with blueprints, is we are breaking these out into the free patents. These are the ones in the public domain. You can pick them up, go and copy them tomorrow, and you're free to do that. Nobody can stop you. There's no protection there anymore. What's awesome is use those as stimulus then to go and create new ideas. The flea market, those are the patents that the maintenance fees have expired, but you can still pick them up because there's a late fee window there that you can get in. And then the active blueprints, which are the active patents. And I'm also happy to announce we've got the published applications coming soon. This is going to allow you to find real trends, the newest trends, because these are the applications that the patent office hasn't even examined yet. They're just sitting there. So those are coming for you to start working with as well. So the free ones, again, pick them up, copy them, improve upon them, and file for patents on those improvements and get protection for those. One of the fastest ways to get protection. And then the flea market, which Doug named, I think, just to bug me all the time. Yeah, see, he's coming back. So these are the patents that when they're filed, the owner thinks these things are worth $1 bazillion each. It's like, hey, this is my shiny new invention. Oh, I'm going to get protection for this, and everybody's going to owe me $1 bazillion. And then, as they start to work, they don't do anything with it, or it just doesn't do a whole lot for their company. Company changes direction. So, you know what? The owner's giving less and less value to these things. And so it just kind of languishes. And then what's kind of nice is, in the United States, the patent office actually asks the patent owner to set a minimum value on that patent at 3 different intervals. The patent office actually comes to you and says, hey, is this worth $2,000 to you? Yeah, it is. Okay, then give it to us. So you got to pay the patent office $2,000 to prove that you still think it's worth that. If you don't think it's worth that, you're walking away from it. And then that it slips into the public domain. But what we do is there's a 6-month grace period after the due date of those maintenance fees, and we have now figured out the way to take all those patents, and then your search results will provide you with just those. That gives you overnight protection if you can get those. This happens 250,000 times every single year. There is not a faster way to get patent protection. Literally, you can have it in 24 hours. If anybody knows of a faster way, you've got to call me, and we'll file a patent on that too. So how do I do this? Maggie was it telling me, I don't know where Maggie Pfeiffer is. But she was saying that this is one of the questions she always gets at Innovation College when we talk about this. Like, oh, how do I do this? Do I call David? Does he do it? You know, you can call me. I can help out. But I will tell you, it's real easy. You look at the patent. If there's a patent attorney on there, you call that law firm and say, hey, I'm interested in purchasing this patent. If it's just an owner, call the owner. There's this thing called Google. Look up their name and call them. And we've been doing this. And we've acquired patents this way for as little as $2,000. And it is as simple as talking to the inventor and saying, look, I saw that you didn't file your maintenance fees on this thing. How about I give you $2,000? And on the phone, this woman said, oh, okay, sure. I said, that's great. I'll send you the document tomorrow. It's a simple one-page document. It's a standard thing. Sent it to her. She signed it. I sent her a check. We filed with the patent office. Could not have been faster. And now what we're doing is we're building upon that and filing for new patent applications on top of that patent. And then we have organizations that are interested in buying those. Sheldon has a question.
So did you paid them and then you paid the maintenance fee also?
That's correct,
So
yes.
you did
Yep.
both, right?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you. And then with the trends,
We're not selling it for $2,000.
No.
Let me just tell you, folks, this is so freaking cool. This is cooler beyond cool. I mean, this is just cooler beyond cool. It's just picking the garbage, you know? And going around and finding something that's worthwhile that you know and then turning it and flipping it. This is just as, oh man, this rocks. This rocks.
this is the first time a chemist attorney's ever been called cool.
That would be correct.
So then you want to use the active patents, the live ones. Go in there and look at the trends. What are the newest things in your industry? What's your competition doing? See the patents as they're being filed. Build and block them. So go and file applications around their patents so then all of a sudden, oh, they can't go any further. They're going to have to license that off of you. Or you get into an agreement where you can use their technology. It also helps you understand what the patent office is looking for in a particular industry at a particular time, because the standards do vary a little bit. And so you go in there and you find out, hey, how loose are they actually in this area? And it's just great stimulus. Yes?
Question. In new areas of new science and technology areas, if you file a patent and you discover that there's a broader patent, does your original patent become, prior art and therefore prevents you from?
It will be used as prior art against you, yeah. It's like a genus species kind of thing. I can talk to you later about that, but how that works against. So this is how the search results are going to be provided to you right now. And as you can see, there's 4 different buckets right here shown. And we have the free ones, the flea, the active, and the company patents. And the company patents would be actually your company's patents. So at Gojo, for example, you go in there and you just list all of yours and go through and cite them, and that way you're going to see there's other things that you can do with them to make them more valuable. But then Greg has come up with this great new system of looking at the patents as you find them. Doug calls it the flicker system. The rest of us call it the carousel.
That flicker thing.
When he uses the Google. And so, but what's really cool is that you can just flip through, and each patent, you get the first page, you get the abstract there, and then your search terms are also going to be highlighted, and you're going to have a number with each search term telling you how many times it shows up in the abstract and title. So you can flip through patents so much faster. Because otherwise, as you guys remember, what you're doing is you're looking at the title, you open it up, you look at the abstract, then you got to hit more to see the photo. It's all now you just keep clicking through. So awesome. The next tool that we have now is patent alerts. I'm just turning mine on.
We were sitting there as they were doing this accelerator the last day, and the team was doing something. They were split up into different rooms, and I went on there to go look for something, and I went flicker, carousel, hit the button for the carousel, it went by, and I'm looking for a patent, and all of a sudden I look at like I don't know, maybe 300 flicking by. And all of a sudden I got an idea and I stopped and I went over to the team. I said, hey, wait a minute, I got a new idea. Because talking about a fast way to get stimulus, because you just saw how different people were approaching it, different things, and all of a sudden I connected the dots with a challenge. I never did find the patent, but I found another idea. I went into the team and I said, hey, maybe we're thinking about this whole thing wrong. Maybe there's a whole other way to think about it. So, because we're not using it for what lawyers do it, we're doing it for different things. And these are the things you're going to discover as you start using it. And this is what we need to be shared back for it, because it was just like unbelievable. And we just had a company, they did a strategy activation, and they've never filed a patent in their life. Strategy activation, they're doing 4 spark decks, 2 black belts, made them each do 2. They had to do them 4 times. In the end, they used more patents than anything else as stimulus. And they said what they learned, they said, we couldn't believe. As we kept deconstructing our challenge of what we did, we kept seeing new things that opened up the doors to new ways of going about it. I know that's a whole mindset shift from where we are now. But it's things like the Flickr thing that make that possible, to be able to do it. Patent examiner told us she looks at 3,000 patents. She cuts it off at 3,000. Whenever she does a search, she looks at 3,000. They have tools, not this, but in this vein, that enable them to do it. It's called a system. When you have the systems and the tools to do it, you can do things that you couldn't do otherwise.
And not to call you out, Beth, but that would be another reason why you would not look at 3,000 patents using Google. Right. You'd go down 2 or 3 screens, and all of a sudden you'd be done. You're just like, okay, I didn't see the idea, or oh, I did, and it's too close, and you move on. So it's another reason to work with it. Yes, Ed.
Between these patents and process patents, apples and oranges, or?
Process patents meaning,
Well,
like a method of doing something?
yeah.
Oh, great question. So Ed was asking how, like, the product patents would be different than the process patents or methods of doing business. It's going to be the same thing. And a lot of those, what you're going to do is you're going to see a flow chart instead, because that's really what we recommend. And most people do when it comes to a method or a business method. You're just going to have some sort of flow chart. And at a minimum on some of those, it might just be a lot of writing, but just look at the abstract and you'll know. Great question. So we also have patent alerts now. So every week at 0 effort to you, a lot of effort on Scott's part to get this put together, you will get alerts on what is new in a particular industry that you want, particular keyword, particular inventor, pretty much you name it. Criteria are based right here, so you can even set it so you only get the flea market ones. Or, hey, I just want to see active patents that are coming up in this area. Based on keyword, inventor, owner, so just see what your competition is doing, see what your own company's even doing. We've worked with companies where we have taken their own patents in as stimulus, and they didn't really know that they were their patents. Okay, and so I set up an alert, and if the Edrington group is watching, this is one for them. And I can buy this for them, so call me. And this is a patent for an installation and production of glass stoppers for sealing bottles. So this is something that they could put on a high-end Macallan bottle to sell, and it's a glass stopper. It was actually issued in 2011, which means that it was at the first maintenance fee point that they walked away from this. For one, so that means one, it's going to be less maintenance fees that they're going to have to pay to the patent office to get this. It also means they're going to have a longer life patent as well. So this would be like an awesome buy if they were to want this. So hopefully John or Ken or Helen are watching. So again, this puts you at the front of the line in knowing what the buying opportunities are and what the leading trends are in your area. And then we also have patent assets. And this is where you're going to translate your patents, whether your company patents or elsewhere, into sales forecasts and business opportunities for inside your company and outside the company. So you get that mailbox money. Start licensing these things out. Procter & Gamble does this. They went and searched to see how their licensing is doing. They found that their partners that they were licensing to could show $3 billion worth of revenue in 3 years, in each of 3 years. It's just using P&G technology that P&G is not going to use anyway. That's a whole nother brand. But on to the really fun stuff, or at least I think so. And this is what has taken all year. And this is what scared me a year ago. And this is ideas to patents. And this is where you will be writing a provisional patent application in about an hour. And you can be patent pending in about 24 hours. Again, I was outside patent counsel for years. If a client came to me and said, hey, here's this, I want this filed in the next 24 hours, okay, sure, I'll do it once or twice. But eventually I'm gonna be like, I've got to do other stuff too. And because I've got to have too much back and forth with those inventors, it's not gonna happen. So it should be doing it internally. And so we're gonna have people start doing this, and it's gonna be based on 3 cycles of learning. So in your first cycle, you're gonna be doing a focused patent search based on your results, what you're inputting. Then in the second one, you're gonna be broadening your scope and based on what you're inputting, looking at the patent database. And then at the last area, we're gonna bring it back in and look at patents that you've already found, and you're doing some cross-referencing search. And as I talk about the searching that's going on, what's really cool is you guys aren't gonna really be doing the searching anymore, because it's actually going to be done by the computer. This all starts now with cycle 1, your yellow card. So you guys all know how to write yellow cards. You've already got them written. You've already got them in the system. And this is going to pull them in for you. And I'm going to show you in the demo how easily this is done. In the first, we're going to have you define a little bit about your invention, a little bit more that's in the yellow card. Then a search is going to be done for you. And all you've got to do is go through and flicker through this. Then you have to defend it. If you find a patent that you think is similar to yours, we want you to write down one sentence on what makes it the same as yours, and then a sentence of why is yours different. Because you know what? That's all the patent office cares about. And if I were your attorney, that's all I care about. And if your check doesn't bounce. Then we're going to have you have a full stop. You've got to make a decision. Do I really have something? Do I really have something that's different enough based on the search results that I've got? Or if I don't, let's abandon this thing and move on to something that's worthwhile. This is the only system I'm aware of, and I've been doing a lot of searching this year, that where it makes you do an entire full stop and make a decision on whether or not this is worth pursuing. Don't jump ahead of my slides. And what's really cool is, after you input everything, you're going to have a report that's going to be in the form of a patent application that you can take to your counsel and just say, done. Your counsel can take that and file it as is, or he and she can mark it up, as attorneys like to do a little bit, because we all have our own styles. But the idea is it's something that you could file that day if necessary. So, in doing all of this, there are going to be 3 phases. There's going to be the startup and learn, customized for your organization, then obviously the world-class patent ROI. So starting up and learning, I am happy to also announce we are going to do Patent College. We have talked about this for years. We've had companies reach out to us and say, we just really want to do the patent stuff. We're going to start doing it. So right now we see it as a 1-day course. You're going to get the patent fundamentals, how to best search for patents, how to find patents your company can inexpensively purchase, so really how to use those flea market patents, best practices for developing a patent portfolio for your organization, and then translating your patents into opportunities for both internal and external use. And then with those translations, those are in English that the leadership can understand, and with numbers that can back it up, and they're meaningful, rather than just giving them some patent. And I can tell you most CEOs are going to look at a patent and go, I don't want to look at it. These are 1-page reports. So those are coming this fall. Let us know if you want to host one in your city. We're going to be using Cycles to Mastery. We're right now seeing 3 to 6 videos and some hands-on lab assignments. And what's even better is these can be led by black belts as well. So you guys can be going out there and doing this. I feel like Tim Cook up here. So when you start up, yes, question, oh, sorry.
So the people in the room for the patent college can be anybody?
Yeah.
They don't have to have been here or done anything else?
Do you mean here today?
Here today to black belt, blue belt?
Oh, the people that you want in the class?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd recommend that, yeah, they be anybody, they take your organization and,
Standalone piece.
yep. Anybody in the organization will be writing patents. We've even talked to law firms about, hey, just bring a bunch of your clients in and you teach it to them. And I mean, they're gung-ho on this. So,
Yeah, it's gotta be.
yeah. So starting up, use Patent College and use your existing projects and play around and understand how Patent ROI system works. Use some of your existing stuff. Optimize the system for your needs with strategy and system summits. And use the patent process decisions to go faster. Then you can customize your organization, translate your patents for internal use first, upgrade your existing patent system, monitor the flea market and take action on what you find. And set who in your organization gets those notifications. Don't send them all to the secretary and figure he or she is going to all of a sudden just check these out and get back to you. Figure out who in the organization should be following the flea market ones or who should be following a particular industry. And they should be looking at those every Thursday when those are in their email. Look at them. They're meaningful. And then with the world class, that's where you're going to start to translate for external use. So, and then conduct invent sessions where you're actually walking out of there with provisional patents that are ready to file. Okay, so I should have put a picture of Abel up here apparently, but I didn't have one handy. So yeah, okay, are you actually following what you preach? I'm happy to say absolutely we are. We have a few patents that are now pending on this entire system. Oh gosh. Okay, we're finally at the list. It's also really cool though because Greg is listed as the primary inventor on some of these, so we can say we have lemon patents. I just thought that would be fun. Oh. I only planned one of them though. For those of you at home, he just said that went sour. Okay. So you guys are tired of listening to me talk about this, so let's actually do something. So Doug called me up and said, hey, Brain Brew Coffee's got this issue. We've got all these extra coffee beans. What are we going to do with it? We need to have a bigger leap idea. So I said, hey, let's come up with this coffee extract ink for writing pens. So this is our new invention for Brain Brew. You knew this, right? Okay. I had to come up with something. What's the first thing you're going to do ever before you even write your yellow card? Do some searching, people. It's not hard. Do it. So I went online. I went to Google, coffee-based ink, and I found this. It's a coffee printer that takes your coffee grounds and turns it into a print. So I was like, that's kind of cool, but it's not the same as mine. So I'm still feeling pretty good about this. So we're going to do a yellow card on it. If I can do this right. And I think I can. So I've actually already, this is how the patent ROI is going to look like for you. And down here, I've already input my coffee extract. Oh, it logged me out. Everybody look away. I'm going to put in my password. Password. Okay. So what you're going to have first, and this is cycle one. That's all we're going to show here to give you an idea. And actually, I was going to do one where you guys could actually sit in groups and do it, but one, I figured there's going to be a lot of writing you didn't want to do. And two, I also know the bar is going to be open soon, and you guys all care about that more. So we already have a yellow card, and you can input a yellow card that you already have in your system. So there's going to be a button right there at the top, and it's just not there because we've already filled it out. And it says choose your project, and it automatically pulls in your yellow card. So this will all of a sudden already be populated. Then we just ask you to give a quick descriptive category on yours. So I just said, coffee-based ink. And then right here, it's going to ask me, well, at least kind of pick a class or two, a little bit descriptive about your invention that you think it might fall into at the patent office, where we can do some patent searching and narrow in on that building rather than the entire city when we're doing some searching. So I'll be like, I know there's coffee, so let me see what's here. Okay, and there's a class right here that says, zoom out. So there's a class here that says food or edible material. Oh, okay, sure, I'll see what we'll make sure that's checked off. And then I'll also put in, let's see, ink maybe. And if we go down, and these are all classes at the patent office. And there's one for printing I've already checked off. And so, yeah, we'll see what happens there. And then this is all the rest you've got to do. I know there's a lot of writing right there, but it's actually not much. We're just asking you to say what kind of invention is it. Is it a composition, an article of manufacture, a machine? And you just click a button. And then we ask a few more questions for you in simple, normal English. Just tell us a little bit more about your invention. Very short questions. We ask you to identify the critical parts of your invention. What are the features? No benefits, just the features. And so those I've listed here, like coffee bean, ink, pen, and then final questions. And these are what are really going to help you figure out whether or not you've got something that's patentable. When you start to look at the search results, here we ask you to really think about and explain what makes your invention different. So we ask you in many different ways, what are you proposing to do that nobody else has done before? What are other ways that people have done similar things? And then just flat out, why is this not obvious? And take the time to think about that and write it in. But you can see there's not a whole lot of writing necessary here. And then you start to get search results. And so one of our pending patent applications actually is all based on a system that Greg has developed on extracting the primary words from the answers that you provided before and just the features there. None of the benefits. We're striking all of those out if you guys try to sneak them in. And you're going to start to find patents that are focused just on the features and in the classifications that you've picked before. There's no faster way that I can think of to actually pull up any of these. And then, as you find one...
Isn't that cool?
That's freaking cool.
That's one of the coolest things about this whole thing when I saw that.
And then let's just pretend that this patent is one that I find of interest, or let's say I don't want this one at all. I just look at it and go, oh my gosh, this is way off base. There's a button right here that says mark as unrelated. And it's going to kick it out of your search results for this project going forward. So you're never going to see that one again. So it's going to save you time there. Or even better, we're going to say, hey, this patent's directly on point, I think, with what I'm doing. I need to see some more about this. So I'm going to save this. And then you can go and I've already saved a few patents in here. And then you go in and you can look at the full text if you want. But then right here we ask you directly, what's the same and what's different? Give me a sentence. If you can't differentiate it there, you probably don't have something. And then you save that cycle, or you decide at that point, we're just kind of done. And Doug talked earlier about the Merwin research tools are going to haunt you, that they're on the left side there. Guess what else is? Patents are over there now too.
So whenever you open your project and you see it, And you'll also see, Greg, what else are you going to see?
So in the project section, when you're defining
So in the project section, and if you want to pull one up, you can. We have a side section on that left-hand side for patent ROI, and the quick feature we wanted to do was a quick search. So you already wrote your idea, you're already doing your cycles of learning. So what it does is it can take your yellow card, throws out all those words that are probably benefits and problems and good for being a yellow card, bad to be in a patent search. And what it does is then it takes you to the carousel of patents that match your idea. So you can see, and you can also say, I only want to do my patent search in the free section, the flea market, the active, or even within your company. And then you can save all these patents that you find. So right here, you see the search and how to manage your saved ones. And if you go ahead and just click on the flea market or something. And then there's also a save this search. So it'll be 2 clicks, and then you'll automatically have a patent alert for each yellow card if you just click this save search. And it'll say, awesome. So really what I hope, as soon as it's launched, I really hope what haunts you is like, it only takes me 2 clicks, and I'll get a patent alert for my project. Now, if you're a project leader, that's something you should do. I don't think we can make it any easier other than just doing it and annoying you with emails. So that's sort of what's coming, and we hope that's easy enough that people do it.
I was just thinking, Greg, you keep working on things that nobody wants to do. Research, patents. When are you going to work on something that people like?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm very lucky to get to do R&D, essentially get to do research here and development. And honestly, I don't know. I just don't like to work on things that already exist. And sometimes nobody really wants those things, but that's a learning opportunity. And
What do you think of this versus research? Because research was your baby. You fought for it for 3 years.
yeah, imagine if I got to ship research in that first year, what I could be doing now. I don't think he knew I was such a smartass when he hired me, but no, really, I like research. It tells you not only that your idea probably isn't good enough, but it gives you some inspiration to make it better, and that's what I always liked about it. But patent ROI is even actually better than that, because if you actually don't have an invention and you try and write a patent, it's such a slap in the face when you try and describe the actual parts of how it works. And then on the flip side, if you actually do have something patentable and you go through how all these parts are connected, well, then actually developing it is a lot easier because you have all those details of features. And a lot of times when you're working on something all by yourself, well, you already have all those pieces in your head of how parts go together and what makes it great. But when you're talking larger teams, larger organizations, getting those words out and defined and on paper is a huge help. So I like patent ROI better than research, and I'm a statistician. So.
So just a parting question. Who else thinks patent ROI is cool? Focus on the bottle now to kill those.